May the august gathering rise in reverence for the state anthem. May the audience persevere with the decorum for the rendition of the university anthem. Thank you so much. Good evening to all our distinguished guests and the members of the NLUJA fraternity. It is my honor and privilege to extend a warm welcome to each one of you on this special occasion, the 14th Foundation Day of National Law University and Judicial Academy, Assam. When this university took its fledgling flight in the year 2011, It began, like all new institutions, with its share of challenges, of building systems, of nurturing trust, and of shaping an enduring identity. Yet, step by step, it has endeavored to forge ahead with purpose and resilience. As the saying goes, small beginnings are the launching pad to great endings. Each year since has been one such step taken with commitment and conviction. Today, as we look back, it's just not a story of buildings and numbers, but that of a community of students, faculties, administrators, and well-regarded associates who have carried forward the idea of an institute of legal education committed to learning, justice, and to service. We must also recall with gratitude the visionaries who guided NLUJA in its formative years, the mentors, the well-wishers, whose support and encouragement laid the foundation on which this university continues to grow. Their contributions remain an enduring part of our journey. With these reflections, I welcome you all to this commemoration of our 14th Foundation Day. At the outset, I have the honor to invite our distinguished dignitaries to kindly come forward and light the ceremonial lamp. May I request Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir and Registrar Sir to usher the dignitaries forward. As this flameless symbol may mark the auspicious beginning of today's ceremony, thank you, respected dignitaries, for sharing your light with us and for illuminating our enterprise with your light. Thank you so much. To set the tone for today's commemoration, may I now call upon Vice Chancellor of NLUJA Assam to kindly present the welcome address.
Esteemed Lordship, Hon'ble Chief Justice Kumar Ji, the Chief Justice of Gauhati High Court and Chancellor of this University, Hon'ble Shri Bhaskar Jyoti Mahanta, Chief Information Commissioner, State of Assam, Hon'ble Sitting and Retired Judges of Gauhati High Court, respected officers of the Gauhati High Court, respected faculty members and administrative staff, NLUJA Assam, my dear students, ladies and gentlemen. It is my proud privilege and great honor to extend a warm and heartfelt welcome to each one of you on this joyous occasion of the 14th Foundation Day of the National University and Judicial Academy, Assam. Foundation Day is not merely a date on the calendar, it is a moment to reflect upon our journey, to celebrate our achievements, and to reaffirm our commitment to the ideals with which this institution was established. 14 years ago, NLU Assam was founded with the vision of imparting quality legal education, promoting research, and nurturing professionals who can contribute meaningfully to the justice delivery system and to society at large. Today, as we look back, we feel proud of the steady strides we have made towards realizing this vision. We are indeed fortunate to have with us today distinguished dignitaries whose presence elevates the significance of this celebration. I extend my deep gratitude to Hon'ble Chief Justice Ashutosh Kumar, the Chief Justice, Gauhati High Court and Chancellor, NLU Assam, whose guidance and inspiration continue to strengthen this institution. I humbly welcome your Lordship. We are equally honored to have Hon'ble Shri Bhaskar Jyoti Mahanta, IPS, retired DGP and Chief Information Commissioner, State of Assam, as our esteemed guest. His remarkable contributions in the public service and governance will inspire our students and faculty alike. I humbly welcome you, sir. We are greatly honored by the gracious presence of Honorable sitting and retired judges of the Gauhati High Court, whose wisdom and guidance have always been pillars of strength for this institution. I extend a heartfelt welcome to all the Honorable sitting and retired judges of the Gauhati High Court. Namaskar, Lordship. I also extend a heartfelt welcome to the senior officers of the Gauhati High Court, whose continued support has immensely contributed to the growth of our university. With equal warmth, I welcome my esteemed colleagues, the faculty members and administrative staff of NLU Assam, whose dedication sustain our academic and institutional progress. A very special welcome goes to our students, who are the true spirit and future of this university. Together, your presence makes this celebration meaningful, and I feel privileged to greet each one of you on this special occasion. On this Foundation Day, we also acknowledge with deep appreciation the relentless efforts of our faculty members, officers, and staff who have been the pillars of this institution. Our students, with their achievements in academics, research, and co-curricular activities, continue to bring laurels to the university and uphold its reputation. This year and past year have been particularly eventful for NLU Assam. We successfully hosted the second international conference on global criminology and victimology, which brought together eminent jurists, academicians, and researchers from across the world. The university entered into collaborative MOUs with reputed national and international institutions, creating new avenues for student and faculty exchange, joint research, and capacity building programs. Our students excelled in various national and international book court competitions, debates, and research forums, earning applause and showcasing the talent nurtured here. Faculty members have contributed significantly to research and publications in emerging areas of law and policy, ensuring that our academic community remains at the forefront of legal scholarship. We have also taken important steps towards introducing new certificate courses, diploma courses, and distance education programs, thereby expanding the reach of legal education in the region. These milestones remind us of the vibrant academic culture that we are building together and the role of NLU Assam as a center of excellence in the Northeast and beyond. Universities are not only the places of learning, but also of character building and national building. An institution is best measured not by its age, but by the impact it leaves on society. The destiny of a university lies in the hands of its students, who carry forward its vision into the world, and a university's true celebration is in the success of its students. The journey of NLU Assam over these 14 years is one of growth, resilience, and aspiration. Yet, we recognize that our mission is far from complete. The evolving landscape of legal education, the integration of technology, and the demands of a rapidly changing society compel us to continuously innovate and adapt. With the collective efforts of all stakeholders, I am confident that NLU Assam will continue to rise to greater heights in the years ahead. Once again, I welcome all of you to this memorable celebration and seek your continued blessings support and encouragement for the progress of our university today, that is 1st September 2025. Thank you one and all. Namaskar to all of you. Welcome all.
Thank you, Vice Chancellor sir, for the address. On behalf of NLUJA Assam fraternity, it is our privilege to present a token of gratitude to our distinguished guests as a gesture of respect and appreciation. May I call upon our Vice Chancellor sir to extend a token of courtesy unto our chief guest, Honorable Mr. Justice Ashutosh Kumar sir, Chief Justice of the Gauhati High Court and Chancellor of National Law University and Judicial Academy, in appreciation of his gracious presence by our side at this significant threshold of time. Thank you, sir. I further request Vice Chancellor, sir, to offer a token of gratitude to our guest of honor, Shri Bhaskar Jyoti Mahanta, sir, State Chief Information Commissioner, whose presence amongst us today has added grace to this commemoration. Sincere gratitude to both our esteemed guests for sharing this occasion with us. Moving on, I have the honor to introduce our guest of honor, Shri Bhaskar Jyoti Mahanta sir, a distinguished public servant whose career has been marked by integrity, foresight, and leadership. A 1988 batch officer of the Indian Police Service, Assam, Meghalaya cadre, sir has served the state and the nation in diverse and challenging capacities. His career spans policing, public administration, and community-oriented initiatives, each reflecting his deep commitment to fairness and public trust. During his tenure as the Director General of Police, Assam, he was widely acknowledged for steering the force with a balance of firmness and compassion, particularly in times of social complexity and transition. His leadership emphasized professionalism, accountability, and an empathetic approach to policing, leaving a legacy of credibility and reform within the department. Currently serving as the State Chief Information Commissioner of Assam, sir continues to embody the principles of transparency and good governance. What sets sir apart is not only his administrative acumen, but his intellectual depth and creative sensibilities. A student of English literature and a keen writer, he blends reflection with action, giving his public life a rare, humane touch. We are truly honored by his gracious presence today. May I call upon our guest of honor, Shri Bhaskar Jyoti Mahanta sir, to kindly address the gathering.
Respected Chief Guest, Honorable Shri Justice Ashutosh Kumar, Honorable Chief Justice, Gauhati High Court, Gauhati, and Honorable Chancellor, National Law University and Judicial Academy, Assam, respected Vice Chancellor, NLUJA and Judicial Academy, respected sitting and retired judges, the faculty, members of the faculty, my dear students, ladies and gentlemen. It's really an honor to be here standing before you in this momentous occasion of your celebration of 14th Foundation Day today. And the kind of words that was spoken about me perhaps are such that kind of make you even feel even more accountable to the society at large. Anyway, thank you very much for the kind words. Ladies and gentlemen, you must be aware Assam has now today arrived at a position where we can move about freely. There is no problem in life, generally in terms of challenges to living. There was a long period of time in Assam's history, not very long ago, about when the question of living itself was looming large around the community. That's when most of our batches, people of our batches, be it in the IPS, be it in the APS, be it in the other services of the police department, we have joined the service. Our main focus has been to save lives in Assam police. And you had all kinds of groups demanding specific rights with a perception of deprivation of various kinds. You had the Bodo insurgency, you had the Hill insurgency, you had the Ulfa insurgency, not to talk about the Adivasis, and of course, of late, the Islamic militancy also has come about in Assam. So in the backdrop of it all, Assam police has traversed, and so has the courts in Assam, the honorable justices in Assam, who have had to face an existential question about giving precedence to principles of various kinds, and which could be at variance at times. There were ethical issues that had come about. Anyway, we have been, thanks to the people of Assam, good sense that had prevailed in Assam, and sound political leadership towards the later part, of course. Now we see an Assam which is bereft of violence. And I remember those days when, on the one hand, we had to be very, very firm against anybody who would be wielding a weapon and trying to kill people. On the one hand, we had to be very firm against them. On the other hand, we had to take the people along. The constituency of Ulfa, for example, of the insurgents themselves, had to be won over by ideologically making them, feel that you actually mean good governance. You mean good business in terms of their development, in terms of just and proper towards their lot. Anyway, during that period of insurgency in Assam, Assam police has perhaps had to go in a way that where the civilian-oriented policing has taken a back seat. Issues like investigation, etc., had taken a back seat, all right. The Assam police was known to be, very aggressive when it came to wielding a weapon and going against operation, against bad characters. But then, when I had taken over as the DGP of Assam, the head of police force, and I had been there in that position for more than 3 years, it was the call of the time to take the entire police in a different route altogether, where service delivery means the maximum. Take the people along with you and ensure that justice is actually delivered. There were a whole lot of cases pending. There were not much focus was paid on issues like, crime against children, crime against women, and stuff like that. We had to, create a new ecosystem altogether, and this we could perhaps bring about in close collaboration with the judiciary, especially the Honorable High Court of Assam. And it was so very gratifying that executive and judiciary had come together in ensuring that justice is not only ensured it should seem to be delivered, as they say. And we had a historical meeting out there in police headquarters when your predecessor, sir, Honorable Justice, Chief Justice, along with the entire lot of sitting judges had come to police headquarters, had motivated the entire police brass to be focusing on evidence-based policing. And we had really focused big time. And for that, we had introduced new schemes and all that. And thankfully, after a point of time, we now stand at a position much later where you could proudly claim that number of cases have also come down. The crimes, the crimes were really fought well, not only fought well, the investigation was conducted as per procedure, as per law, and the FF, final form, was submitted in due time, and finally the trial has seen several convictions. The rate of conviction had really shot up very much. There was a time when the rate of conviction was pretty low. You know, in the SDG goals that was set by the Niti Aayog, Assam was pretty much in a backseat. Like, you know, the number of cases against women, for example, was so very much. The cases against children were so very much, for which we had to be really, really focusing a great deal. We entered into unconventional norms, like bringing the TIS, Tata Institute of Social Science, National NFSU, the different organizations, Raksha University of Gujarat. We had entered into MOU with all those. We set up women's cell, victimological orientation to policing had been brought about big time. But sir, in presence of the Honorable Justice, I would like to bring one particular point to the fore, that the number of registrations of FIRs have gone down quite a lot. Perhaps there was a time we had taken recourse to Lalita Kumari's judgment, and in the name of preliminary investigation, the trend on the part of the police has been to conduct entire lot of cases and keep it within the ambit of preliminary investigation and not really register an FIR. Perhaps the judicial authorities, perhaps the Judicial Academy and organizations like NLU need to take a call on this, how to balance this, you know, the perception of the people, which we could, after a lot of effort, could, you know, win their hearts and mind by way of different methodologies, again have a potential to go bad. So we got to be careful about registration of cases now, and not take recourse to Lalita Kumari judgment at the drop of the hat and say that we are keeping it under preliminary inquiry. That is now perhaps a challenge at this moment. And ICJS has come to play a big role, and we've been continuously in touch with the honorable courts time and again for proper implementation of the ICJS. Interoperable criminal justice system is a wonderful concept, and in the conceptual level it is great, but then in the practical level, when I found that the CCTNS, its administration, there are 24 number of IIFs, and out of that about 7 of them are being filled up by the police during my time. I hope it has increased many times now. And I have gone to all the police stations of the state. I had appointed CCTNS UB constables, trained them properly to enter the FIRs and, you know, scene of crime, etc. But then, you know, there are practical issues that everything does not get properly filled up in a computer. People are educated in Assamese medium or Bengali medium, for example, and they will be expected to be translating the entire lot of stuff that are written down by the sub-inspectors, the investigating officer on the ground, and put it up in the computer. The same constable will be asked to also to bring the chai for the Thanedar. And so I have really put in a lot of effort to ensure that these people are motivated, good incentives are provided to them, and I'm sure the similar kind of challenges were faced in respect of the prisons and also FSL. Now, after we have appointed one officer, from Gujarat, a DG ranked officer, to be, supervising the reconstruction of the FSL, not only bringing about the hardware, also the software, the training, etc. We conducted several set of trainings on these issues out here in Judicial Academy itself. And now things have improved very much, all right. And cases pertaining to especially the distressed sections of the community are being addressed very thoroughly now. And but then the practical problems continue to remain. For example, that apps are being given to the investigating officer. This will also be helping the students. It's not merely the laws as it is written and you understand, you internalize all the intricacies of law per se. The application of the law in the real sense of the term, on the basis of which Honorable Judiciary, higher Judiciary can give a verdict. It's easier for them to be, having everything ready for giving a verdict. That processes need to be really followed up in proper manner. And you have now these challenges like the e-summon, for example. What kind of a platform that would be used for ensuring e-summon? Is there a methodology of the receipt which is operational in the court of law? There are video conferencing practices also nowadays for the investigating officer to be, it is being allowed now. In the Information Commission that we have introduced, Justice Chancellor, he had come up with 3 numbers of verdict in respect of Right to Information Act. Basically, perhaps he thought too many cases are going to the Honorable High Courts, which could perhaps be addressed also by the state information commissions. It's about seeking of documents and stuff like that by affected parties. And video conferencing, call lists, etc., the way a court operates is also being made operational in respect of information commission. When it comes to e-saksha, for example, the investigating officer is supposed to be taking the photograph of the place of occurrence, the videography, and putting it in the thing, and it uploads the thing, the entire lot of evidences in a manner. Is there an SOP created for reception of that particular data in the e-court system or not? These kind of things need to be really be looked into, and the video conferencing itself. Google Meet, people expect that the Google Meet or platforms of the kind which are not very reliable in the modern challenges of cyber security. What we are doing is to ensure video conferencing only in the NIC recognized center, that is Bharat VC. Now, is the Bharat VC facilities, is it existing in the district or subdivisions and things like that? The NIC centers that are attached with the DC offices are pretty busy themselves. So they do not allow the others to come in. So you need to really work out these small details in this digital era. So these are the kind of challenges that we've been facing as far as the ICGS is concerned. At least during my time, I have inquired into it, and I believe a lot of issues have been ironed out of late, but lot more needs to be done. Anyway, 14 years is a long time for an organization like National Law University. It has done wonderfully well. The kind of reputation it carries in the society is great. I've been associated with NLU when it was in the Ulubari, I believe that area initially, and later it has come out here. I have been to the Judicial Academy because we had introduced a series of training programs for the sub-inspectors before. And now you have reached a particular point wherein you can take the leadership of the society, the kind of university theme song that you have sung. You have promised to deliver the best and show service delivery of the best kind in the interest of this great country. And I wish you all the very best on this particular auspicious day. And I thank the university authority for having been considerate and having invited me out here to be a guest of honor in the midst of this galaxy of stalwarts out here. Thank you very much, and Jai Hind. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for providing this absolutely scintillating snippets of your professional life. Thank you for your presence and for animating this session. Moving on, with your kind attention, may I present a brief note on our chief guest, Honorable Mr. Justice Ashutosh Kumar sir. Lordship, who assumed office as the 43rd Chief Justice of the Gauhati High Court on 21st July 2025, brings to this role a legacy of legal learning, experience, and judicial temperament. And alumnus of St. Mary's High School, Patna, Lordship's academic journey continued at St. Stephen's College, New Delhi, and later at the Campus Law Center, Delhi University, where he studied law. Enrolling as an advocate in the year 1991 at the Patna High Court, Lordship found his calling in criminal law, representing clients in serious matters, including those involving death row inmates, and also served briefly as a government pleader for the state of Bihar. Elevated to the bench as an additional judge of the Patna High Court in 2014, Lordship subsequently served at the Delhi High Court before returning as a permanent judge in Patna. From January 2025, he acted with authority as the acting Chief Justice of the Patna High Court. In Lordship's farewell from the Patna High Court, his colleagues lauded his work ethic and fairness, undeniably reflected in the disposal of over 20,000 cases and more than 1,100 judgments reported in legal journals. He is noted for his steadfast commitment to safeguarding judicial officers from unmerited reproach. Throughout Lordship's career, he has balanced administrative efficiency with judicial fairness, a hallmark of a jurist committed to upholding both individual rights and institutional integrity. It is an absolute privilege to have amongst us today a leader whose scholarly roots, legal breadth, and judicial discretion are well acclaimed across the judiciary. May I now invite the chief guest, Honorable Mr. Justice Ashutosh Kumar, to the podium to address the gathering.
Thank you, Nandrani. It's for this that I had asked your name. A very warm good evening to all of you. It's a pleasure to see all of you, and you would not feel confident unless you know the constitution of your audience. I can see my brothers, the chief guest, and faculty as well as the students. So this is a familiar terrain, and I would be speaking my heart out. Well, let me first acknowledge your presence. My esteemed brothers on the bench, Shri Bhaskar Jyoti Mahanta, a man of parts whom I could know only now, the State Information Commissioner Assam and former DGP, Professor Sharma, the Vice Chancellor of the University, Justice Manojit Bhuyan, former Judge of Gauhati High Court and Chairperson of Assam Real Estate Appellate Tribunal, Mr. Mir Alfaz Ali, he was also a former Judge of Gauhati High Court, and now he is the Director of the Judicial Academy Assam, the Registrar and the faculty members, as well as other administrative members of the Academy, the Registrar General, other members of the Registry of Gauhati High Court, and the most special of the guests today, in the audience, my dear students of the university, ladies and gentlemen. Well, it's a matter of great privilege, but before that I must say the encomiums given to me, which is usual in all such gatherings. I mean, this has embarrassed me, and I don't think I fit in that scheme where I would get such, praises. Nonetheless, this is a kind of challenge thrown in my face that here as Chief Justice and as your Chancellor, I would live up to the words which have been spoken by the anchor. And I believe she is a faculty. Huh? Is it okay? Yeah, she is in the administrative side. Well, it is a sheer privilege and joy for me to be here. Not only joy, it's a matter of pride. And I hope that this institution in its 14th mile would continue to serve the students, to the lawyers, and also to men of thoughts, men of justice, men of service. So it does not remain only an institution where you come and have your LLB degree. This would instill in you the principles which would be the bedrock of the work, the calling that you would be called upon in society to perform. Every foundation day of an institution is an opportunity of reflection. I believe the Brahmaputra river which flows through this city has a great legacy. But despite this legacy, it continues to flow and it remains full of water because of many streams. And notwithstanding the fact that it is a big river which has its origin somewhere in Tibet, it continues to renew itself through the streams. And I hope that this university also would keep on renewing itself, building up brick by brick with the help of faculty, students, alumni, and all of us who have some interest in the institution. And I, as Chancellor, I must promise you, I assure you that I'll be doing the best so that this institution is further taken to a different height and assumes a national, without my effort, it has become a national university. But I'll ensure that I do my part to keep you on a very high pedestal. Well, Mr. Mahanta has flagged certain issues which I'll be answering later. But today, since it's the foundation day, I would chart a different terrain, a different course. This would be especially focused to the students of the university. Now, most of you are at the crossroads of your life today. You would be passing out, or you would be entering into, next semester, the higher class. All of you must have had some dreams in your mind. Some of you would join academia, some of you corporate practice, some of you would join public service. But I would today tell you about a field which is known to you, but a field which is less trodden, but very deeply fulfilling. This is litigation. And why so? That also I'll tell you. Litigation is just not arguing cases. Litigation is a calling where you give voice to the voiceless. You uphold the Constitution. You challenge the injustice. That's something very, very fulfilling, and you may not have the rewards in a quick way. Today you join the profession, tomorrow you would be earning. That would be chasing illusion. It is something which will keep you engrossed, which will keep you in good stead, and will enrich your personality like no other profession of the world. This would offer you a chance to stand at the very heart of justice. Now, in this context, I'll tell you the transformative powers of advocacy. All of you would be aware of MC Setalvad, the first Attorney General of the Government of India. Now, on one occasion, Pandit Nehru, the Prime Minister, wanted him to defend a government measure in the Supreme Court. This was not agreeable to Mr. Setalvad, and he, despite being the Attorney General, he said that, well, Prime Minister, I'm sorry, I am the Attorney General, not the government's mouthpiece. Now, he was known for his clarity, for his intrepidity, and for his level-headedness. For him to say this to the Prime Minister of the day, that only set the dignity of the bar, because he was not convinced that this measure was good enough to be defended by the Attorney General. So this was the part, this even today is the power of the advocacy. We are fast forgetting it, but then the profession has its legacy, and about which anything said would be very little. You remember about Palkiwala. I had the occasion to see him as a student of law. I'm told that he began with a stammer, and he was very afraid of speaking in public. But sheer brilliance and discipline, he rose to become one of the most fierce of the lawyers in the courtrooms. And the way he argued cases, the courtrooms used to be packed by outsiders to hear how he proceeds in the matter. And I had the occasion to hear a talk from him. It was all, whenever he spoke, it was spellbinding. And he always said that clarity and loyalty to law is what the judges expect of you, what the society expects of you. These are names that I am taking before you so that you get enchanted to join this profession. Normally, see, I have a daughter who has passed law, but before I had understood the importance of it, I was dissuading her from practicing. My wife, who is not from this profession, she is a professor, she insisted that no, she must accept the calling, she must accept the profession for which she has studied law. And then I realized that I was committing a mistake. Another mistake that I was about to commit was to ask her to go to some corporate house or some corporate office for having her livelihood. She straight away refused. She said, no, I would be very happy working as a litigation lawyer. I told her about the difficulties, about the struggles, about the initial hiccups in the life, but then she has decided now, she has not yet joined, but she will be joining. Another person whom I would like to remember in this context is MC Chagla. My brother judges would be knowing about him, no doubts about it, but I would urge all of you to read his autobiography, which is one of the best autobiographies of the world. This is not because I am saying so, it is acknowledged as one of the best biographies. It's called Roses in December. He has quoted one incident from his life, and he says that when he was arguing before Privy Council on one occasion, he was a little nervous. But one of the judges told him that, look, don't get frightened by we people with wigs on our heads. We are just human beings. We just want you to explain with clarity what point are you making. And remember one thing, you argue not to impress, but you argue for assisting the court. And this mission he carried in his life, and you know how successful he was. It was something in this context that I would like to remind you about the growth of PILs, the public interest litigation. It opened the doors for the poor, for the voiceless. The courts never waited for parties to appear with their expensive lawyers. Anybody, any person in the citizenry could have approached the court and could have spoken about the travails of people, which was required to be addressed, which was required to be rectified. And ultimately it became tools for advocates to turn the whole thing into kind of social justice. Why I am telling you this is that nowadays many PILs are being filed by students who are aware of the world around, and they are conscious of their rights, they are conscious of their obligation as persons pursuing law to look after the issues which require to be addressed for their rectification. As you all know, and you have seen, you would have heard, courts have no longer remained places where only contracts and disputes are resolved. There is great, outreach of the whole subject of law and the way of justicing. In this process, you would be a very important adjunct, not only when you join profession, but even as law student. In fact, one of the judges of Supreme Court, hailing from this place, he made a request to me that I should ask my brother judges to keep the students from National Law University Assam as interns whenever it is required, and more than 2-3 every judge. This I am going to request to my brothers. That will give you a first-hand experience of litigation. That will give you first-hand experience of the methods of preparing a case, and being part of the system, how to be useful. When I was coming to Assam, I was reminded of the great legacy. Now, I wanted to know about some legacy with respect to law and justicing. Then I was told that for about 600 years, home kings had their own way of administering justice. They believed in open assemblies for resolution of disputes. The most famous saint of this place, Srimant Sankardev, he also had once said, which I read only before coming to Gauhati as Chief Justice, that dharma does not mean only rituals, it means social service. Now these aspects resonate in how the courts decide cases, in how lawyers build up their cases. Now it is no longer limited to the attack on the system with the aid of law. You can conjure of many things, like you heard the J1 of this country, Honorable Justice Suryakant, when he was in South India yesterday, he said that Article 21 would not be complete unless it encompasses ecological preservation. Environmental degradation was there, but ecological preservation, and it be part of Article 21. So it's ever expanding outreach, and you must be conscious of this so as to become useful members of this society. After having said that, now in this new world, you will have to grapple with many difficult things, like the technological turn of the law, the internationalization of the law education, the systemic delays in justicing and therefore the backlogs, so on and so forth. Apart from this, you will have to consider regional responsibilities also. This university would not expect you to complete your education and go off to some place with bright light and don't come back here to Assam. These are regional responsibilities foisted upon you so that you may come back and serve the state where you have studied. Your personal ambitions, your personal aggrandizement, that's one aspect of the matter. But then you must return something to the system, to the institution, to the state, which has helped you build you as a persona. These aspects would be, migration, self-determination, the rights of self-determination, and many other aspects which you understand. Unemployment, lack of education, all these aspects have to be dealt by you. So far as technological turn of law is concerned, I would tell you this would be in the nature of a warning, a caution. Now AI, all of you are using. All facets of life is now being governed by AI, artificial intelligence. Now, but you must be very careful in using it. See, from old times, the wisdom has come down to us that such powers which are to be controlled and which cannot be controlled, you have to be very smart while dealing with it. I'll narrate one story to you which comes to my mind. It's from the Greek mythology. The sun god known as Helios, he had a son called Phaethon. Now Phaethon wanted his father to allow him to ride his chariot and take the sun god in the skies. Sun god was not happy at this proposal. He said that, no, you are not an expert at charioting my chariot, so leave it as it is. But he insisted, and the kind of love and affection which sun god had, which Helios had for his son, so he allowed him to drive his chariot for a day. The moment Phaethon took reins of the chariot, the fiery horses, the celestial horses, they bolted. And the chariot veered. He did not have quite control. He did not know how to control it. So at times it went very high in the sky, making the earth freeze. Sometimes it would come very near the earth and it scorched. When all the gods in the skies were afraid that some disaster would take place, and then Lord Zeus, the god of the skies, he hit him with a thunderbolt and he came down dropping. Now this story tells you a message. Don't use a power, don't summon a power which you cannot control. Now AI is something which has to be used like a good servant. It can't be worshipped like a god. Now I have seen, why I am referring to this is that most of you are using ChatGPT or other platforms, other AI tools, and what you give to as your preparation, what you offer is just the listing, the anthology of case laws, without any comparisons, without any analysis. And many a times you get analysis from these AI tools, but then it remains, the analysis which has been used in many cases, in many instances, and therefore there is no newness to it. If you see a problem, apply yourself to it. Perhaps you will do better. You will be able to offer better service. There is another story which comes to my mind, especially with respect to these tools that you young students would be using for writing your exam, for making notes for the judge with whom you would intern, or the advocate with whom you would intern, or the junior to the advocate whose chambers you would join. Now you have heard of Goethe, the famous poet in 70s. I believe Mr. Mahanta is a student of English literature. Goethe, all of us know. So long time back in 1740s, he wrote a poem by the name of Sorcerer's Apprentice. Now it was not a popular poem, but then it became popular when Paul Dukas, converted it into a musical parody, and later when Walt Disney accepted it and Mickey Mouse played the apprentice, then it became world famous. This was a story which Goethe had thought of, where a sorcerer is a musician, he had a pupil. That pupil was very interested in learning the ways of casting spell. So one day his master was away, and before going he had asked him to fetch some water, some buckets of water for him. Later when he would come, he would make use of it. So this apprentice thought, his information was only half-baked. He thought that let me try this spell on a broom. He saw a broom, something to clean your floor with. So he saw a broom, he used that magical spell and told the broom that please fetch me water. He knew half the skill of casting a spell in the first go. The broom started bringing water. It brought water, continuously it brought water. So much so that the entire place got flooded. And this apprentice wanted to stop that, but he wouldn't know, because the other part of the spell he had not learned from his master. He was still under apprentice. So he didn't know. In exasperation, he took an axe and cut the broom into half. And lo and behold, the two brooms started bringing water. And this apprentice was about to drown when luckily the sorcerer came and he cast a spell and everything was stopped. So this gives you a lesson, you know, it's an old story which you must have heard in your childhood. I am reminding you of this story today when you are at the cusp of, you know, a time when you are going to face the world, that please have control and you do only such things about which you know. If you don't know, you please learn about it and don't just jump into the arena because it is fashionable to do so. So these two stories, I think, will tell you what I actually wanted to address you. Now there is yet another, and one of the last things that I'll speak to you is about Spelunkian explorers. All of you must have had classes in jurisprudence. I think it is taught in first year. Is it correct? Is it correct, Mr. Vice Chancellor? Second year. So the basics, this is what I wanted to know from you all. This is an explorer's case, which I think my brothers on the bench would be knowing it. I would like you to revisit that. And I'll tell you the case in short. If anyone from the audience could tell me, I would be very happy. Now this is abecedarian concept of jurisprudence, where you are told how judges think, how law is molded, and how interpretations differ. This is one of the best, hypothetical case. This had never happened. Lon Fuller, one of the jurists, had written this story. There were explorers, cave explorers, and about 5-6 of them who had gone on an expedition, but they got trapped underground because of a landslide. And they could not be rescued for about 25-30 days. They were about to die when they took a decision, a conscious decision of killing one of them so that the flesh could be used for the others to survive in order to await any rescue which would come from the government. So all of them agreed that, well, one of us would be sacrificed for the benefit of others. After about 5 days, another person would be killed. And who would be the first one to sacrifice himself was decided by throw of dice. So this is what happened. 2 persons had to shed their lives, and the rest 4 or 5 survivors survived on the flesh of those 2 persons who sacrificed themselves. In the meantime, rescue operations were successful and 4 of them were rescued. But they were put on trial for killing their fellow beings and eating them. It was kind of cannibalism. Now, this was a hypothetical case where there were hypothetical judges who gave their opinions. And this was in the territory of Newgard. It doesn't exist, but I tell you, this is one of the most interesting of the case materials which I had read, and I remember it even today, and therefore I am sharing it with you. So Chief Justice Truepenny, he said that no, whatever may be the circumstance, killing is murder for whatever reason, for whatever circumstance. He has to be convicted. All these persons have to be convicted. If at all any clemency is required, I think the executive will decide about it. We as judges will not decide about it. Killing is murder. The other judge called J. Foster, he says that these persons were reduced, they were transported to a state of nature where the law would not be applicable. They were completely shut out from the civil society, and they were in a state of nature where survival of the fittest or survival was by a different mechanism. And therefore, even if somebody had killed, they were outside the scope of normal law, and their actions could have been justified on account of necessity, so they must be acquitted. This was one view. On the same set of facts, there was a third judge called Tatty. He was torn between, the natural cause sympathy for the accused, and the law, the positive law. He was also very conscious of the fact, and he was upset that two of them had lost their lives. They should have waited for some time. After all, they were not on the brink of dying. It was a kind of calculated attempt. But then there were necessities also. So thinking that he would not be able to decide the case, he recused himself. He did not pass any opinion. There was another judge called Keene. He says that law is what is written, what is lex loci, and morality has no place there. The judge must apply the law as it is, and no other concept has to be factored in. Well, this is also one of the views which I don't think is a correct view. Justice Handy, he had a very pragmatic approach. He said that public opinion overwhelmingly is in favor of the acquittal of these persons. And situation also was such that they had no way out, otherwise they would all have perished and we would not have known them. So considering these aspects of the matter, necessity, the nature, the law of nature, and the overwhelming public opinion, the best would be to acquit them. Why this hypothetical fact situation was created was to tell the students how to react. There are conundrums in law. You will be required to face it. You will be facing many such conundrums in life as lawyers. What happens? Suppose a train is moving on a particular track where two persons are there who are unknown to the moving train. And this person has control of the lever, and if he moves his lever, the course of the train changes, but on the other track there are 5 persons. Now which one should he choose? Now these conundrums are the situations when law students will be required to apply themselves. Well, I think I have overshot. This is just a preliminary introduction. I'll be visiting you all again and again, and I would like you to develop this aspect of thinking in your minds. Merely reciting case laws, I don't think it's very impressive. If you apply yourself, if you come out with original ideas, if you conjure up fact situations, if you know how to apply the law to a particular fact situation, I think 75% of your work is done. But while ending my discourse, I mean it has been a longish one, please excuse me for this, but I'll urge you to spend some time in litigation, even though you don't stick to it for a long time. It will keep you in good stead. It will help you, it will make you learn how to listen, how to empathize, and how to be fearless, even in times when other people would buckle to pressures. How to remain intrepid, the intrepidity, the sense of purpose, all this will keep you in very good stead. So I implore all of you to at least try your hand with litigation, and you will find it to be a very, very good alternative. God bless you all. I would be visiting you with respect to other aspects of learning, and as and when I get time, I'm sure your Vice Chancellor would steer this university to greater heights, your faculty members, and my brother judges also would be more than willing to handhold and take this institution to a different level. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Wisdom is the light that not only guides a moment but shapes generations. We are deeply grateful for the wisdom Lordship has shared, leaving us with much to reflect upon as we carry on. Thank you, Lordship. Distinguished dignitaries, Lordships, ladies and gentlemen, we present to you a short cultural program put together by students of this university.
गणनायकाय गणदैवताय गणाध्यक्षाय धीमहि गुणशरीराय गुणमण्डिताय गुणेशानाय धीमहि गुणातीताय गुणाधीशाय गुणप्रविष्टाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय भालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि एकदन्ताय वक्रतुण्डाय गौरीतनयाय धीमहि गजेशानाय भालचन्द्राय श्रीगणेशाय धीमहि
Moving on, we turn to a medley of vocal performances drawn from diverse traditions that echo the voices of Assam's many ethnic communities, each distinct yet together weaving a shared artistic tapestry. Thank you.
মানবিকতার স্মরণ দেখিও মানবতার পতন দেখিও নির্লজ্জ ভাবে গুয়াহাটিও হাহাকার করে নিহতে নীরবে উড়ালুই তুমি উড়ালুই গুয়াহাটিও
পতে খুন্তৰা দৈ খালো জৰা টেঙা খুন্তৰা দৈ খালো জৰা টেঙা খুন্তৰা দৈ কটা দিৰা গৰে এ দেহিও সৈতে সপতে সুন্তৰা দৈ জীৱনে মৰণে সুন্তৰা দৈ জীৱনে মৰণে সুন্তৰা দৈ তোমাৰ মৰমৰে কোনে কি বকুল ফুল খুবতে কপৌ ফুল হাততে যে তুকাৰ বুল
Thank you, girls. I express my gratitude to the audience for persevering with us this evening. I call upon the Registrar of the University, Dr. Gunajit Roy Chaudhary, to propose the vote of thanks.
A very good evening, everyone. Honorable Shri Justice Santosh Kumar Sir, Chief Justice of Gauhati High Court and Chancellor, National Law University and Judicial Academy, Assam. Esteemed Judges of Gauhati High Court, respected guest of honor Shri Bhaskar Jyoti Mahanta Sir, IPS retired, State Chief Information Commissioner, Assam, and former DGP, Assam Police. Distinguished member of General Council, Executive Council, and Academic Council of the University. Respected Director General of Judicial, respected Director of Judicial Academy, Honorable Justice Mir Alfazali Sir. Our respected Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. KBS Sharma Sir. Respected Registrar General of Gauhati High Court and other esteemed members of Registry, faculty member, my beloved student, and administrative staff. It is my profound privilege and honor to propose the vote of thanks on this auspicious occasion of 40th Foundation Day of National Law University, Assam. At the very outset, on behalf of University, extend my deepest gratitude to our today's chief guest, Honorable Shri Justice Ashutosh Kumar Sir, for gracing this occasion with his Lordship's august presence and for inspiring us with his vision and word of wisdom. We are truly humble for the time your Lordship have taken out from his busy schedule to be at us with today. Your Lordship continued guidance as Chancellor of this university gives a strength and direction to our academic and institutional journey. Thank you, Lordship. I express my heartfelt thanks to our today's guest of honor, Shri Bhaskar Jyoti Mahanta Sir, for kindly accepting our invitation and gracing this occasion with your presence today. Has added the great value of our celebration, and your encouraging word will remain as a source of motivation for all of us. Thank you, sir. I also convey our sincere thanks to Honorable Judges of Gauhati High Court and former Judges of Gauhati High Court who have kindly joined us today and blessed this occasion with their presence. Your association with this university is a matter of great honor. Thank you, Judges. A very special thanks to Honorable Mr. Justice Mir Alfazali Sir, Director Judicial Academy, Assam, for his Lordship constant support and goodwill towards this institution. Thank you, Lordship. I extend heartfelt gratitude to Registrar General Gauhati High Court and I esteem members of the Registry for sparing their valuable time to be with us today. On this occasion, I also place on record our deep appreciation and gratitude to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. KBS Sharma Sir, whose dynamic leadership, constant guidance, and unwavering commitment have been instrumental in the steady progress of National Law University, Assam. Thank you, sir. I extend my thanks to our faculty members for their dedication and commitment in nurturing young legal mind and contributing to the academic excellence of this university. Thank you all. My special thanks to our students who are the true strength and pride of this National Law University Assam. Your enthusiasm and achievement give meaning to our collective effort. Finally, I convey my heartfelt appreciation to all our non-teaching staff of this university whose silent yet significant contribution ensure the smooth functioning of all our activities. I thank each one of you present here for making this 14th Foundation Day of the National Law University as a memorable and meaningful event. With this word, I once again extend my deepest gratitude to all of you. Thank you, Jai Hind. And may I now request the August gathering to kindly rise for the national anthem.
जनगणमन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उज्जल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मागे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
Thank you all. Have a wonderful evening. Thank you.